back in the room. Back in the room.
Back in
And
the room,
if you're
back in
watching
the
on
room.
YouTube, Paul has got a rather striking hat on his head.
Yes.
It's a kind of
Yes.
what we call what is that that style of hat? A bucket.
It's called a. But is it called
Right,
bucket
and it's got
hat?
what looks like a palm tree on it. So it's got like a.
See, it's got like Hawaiian print
All
on
right.
it. Hawaiian print. Now there should be like this little. There should be a little spark
either
going
gonna
off in your
be-
mind, thinking, "Oh, Paul, I've seen that
Let's
somewhere
say-
before."
At a festival. Let's say you were wearing it at Glastonbury Festival.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Let's say last time you saw it, we were in front of
nice.
Underworld.
That hat has seen some things.
Yeah.
It's seen
seen
things
some
you
stuff.
people wouldn't believe.
It's seen
Mhm.
some stuff.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
this is a random quiz episode that we've thrown in. We've thrown it in. Right.
Casually.
So if you're up for a bit of random stuff from the boys here at the ADHDville,
Hello.
then let's say welcome to ADHDville.
Random episode.
We don't know what's going to happen, especially Paul, because he knows nothing about this quiz.
This is very true. Absolutely nothing.
This
Quiz. Hello, I'm Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the combined ADH and the D almost exactly, not almost,
Wow,
more or
you're
less
so
a year
precise. Ago. I love that about you, Paul. And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with the combined poo-poo platter of ADHD in 2013. 13.
So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after 39 years of friendship, discover that we're co-ADHDers,
what a
Martin.
Surprise.
Yeah. So what I'm going to suggest to you, fellow ADHDers, grab your jetpacks, pedalos, space hoppers, and any other transportation methods, and let us take you to ADHDville, an imaginary town that we've created in our mind, where we like to make strange noises with our like this, where we like to explore different parts of the ADH
and we start off,
and
as
the D.
always, here in the town hall in the mayor's office, where we, the joint mayors of ADHDville, take care of business. And looking at the agenda, we are going to squeeze in a quiz. So,
yes.
Where shall we go for this quizzler? Where should we go?
Oh, should we? Park bench, maybe.
I like the sound of that. We'll catch the autumn. In fact, I'm just looking out outside the mayor's office window, and I can see a squirrel in a tree.
Squirrel.
Black,
grey or red? Oh, okay. So it's a cross between on the black ones. The black, if they're black and they've got a white stripe, it's because the red had mated with the grey.
Black with a white.
I heard that.
If it's black with a white stripe, it's a skunk.
It's a skunk.
Run away!
No. Well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. In Europe, I heard that if a red squirrel had made love with a grey squirrel, it turned them black. Right. Sweet love, squirrel love. Don't know if that's true.
Well,
don't know if that's true.
We'll just get the car brought around, and let's hop in.
Yes.
Gonna get a coffee.
Thermos flask. Do you have thermos flasks in the States? I guess you do.
Here we go. Here is one.
Of course you do.
All right. Well, it is pumpkin spice latte season, so I'm going to get a pumpkin spice latte with oat milk. Thank you, barista.
Oh,
I know.
very nice. Would cinnamon
No.
be involved in the spices in the mix
No.
in the mix up?
It
Oh.
won't.
Because you're not a fan, or because
You know what? You know how there are certain foods. This is like a bit of an ADHD thing, where I will
Yeah.
like cinnamon on a cinnamon roll, like an iced cinnamon bun.
right?
But then that's
Mm.
possibly one of the few places that I'm into it.
Right. I'm like that with mustard. I'm okay with like a mustard
Mhm.
glaze on something, but not like the
All right.
dollop of
You
mustard.
mean like, so if you get like a sort of a roast beef, for example, you'll sometimes have like a
Yeah.
bit of Coleman's on the side. Yeah, that'll bring
Coleman-
tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, not on
so
the side.
strong.
A glaze.
Oh,
No, a glaze. You know, says like it's be like a marinade.
very nice. I like the sound of
Effectively.
this. Anyway,
Nice.
so what I've just decided to do, as I've just looked at this quiz, because I used chat. I asked Chat GBT this morning to come up with a quiz for me because
right,
I couldn't be
okay.
asked. And
Right.
also it reveals the answers at the end, so I don't even know what the answers are. So I don't know what the answers are either.
Okay.
So we can
Oh,
now
really?
do
Interesting.
like a you versus me quiz.
What, so you can do the quiz you're doing directly in Chat GPT as you're asking?
I've already put in I asked for a 5-question quiz that has 3 alternate answers,
Right.
which it did, and then I said, "That's great, but what are
Okay.
the correct answers?" And then it went, "Here are the correct answers." So it's actually in, which I haven't
Which
seen.
you haven't seen yet.
So that means that I
okay,
can
got
read
it.
out the.
All right.
So
Okay.
I can read out the question. But my point is that as it's
Okay.
AI, I shared with you yesterday an AI podcast that I created in, I think it was Google Note something. And what I did is that I fed AI the script of the 20 more weird things about ADHD, which would be like 2 episodes back now. So I fed AI that quiz, and then I said, create a podcast from it with a male voice and a female voice.
Yeah.
And AI created a 16-minute podcast, which I will put at the end of this episode, so you can.
It's
pretty
good.
scarily good. In
It
fact,
was
I would
good.
say that that it was definitely a lot slicker than ours, right?
That's not difficult, but that's the problem, isn't it? That's where they get caught out.
They're too good. They're too good. But they did,
which is bad.
They did draw some quite nice conclusions at the end of it, which we didn't. So
Right. We're out of a job.
I know.
We're out of another job.
So at the end, so after this quiz, I'm gonna put the 16-minute podcast, the alternate podcast, at the end. Let us know in the comments if you prefer it to us. Should we just give the podcast over to them? Let us know. Jump in the comments.
Yeah, we can just kick back and smoke a pipe.
Okay.
But Spotify are experimenting a lot with this. They've already done it with like some of the really, really well known, really successful podcasts. They've already done this. You can actually choose if you want it in American. If you're an English podcast, you want to attract more of an American audience. You can just get them to transpose the American accent, but you can decide where the accent is. You can
All
be
right.
West Side, or you could be wherever you want to be. You can
Yeah.
have, a Canadian
You can
twang if you wanted
also
to.
put in your own voice into it, so it will speak in your own voice.
Yeah.
Not in this particular
Yeah.
in this particular version, but at some point, real soon, it will all come together where you could have us two in our
Yeah.
voices with images that look like us talking,
Yeah.
doing a
Yeah.
podcast.
And even in German or Italian or Spanish, but with our
Yes.
voices speaking different languages. It's amazing. And it's already there.
Yeah.
They've already, the technology's already there. I think it's not quite as
Yes,
efficient
some
as
bits haven't been
they wanted it
packaged
yet,
up
but
together. But actually, while
yeah.
we're on the quick subject
Yeah,
of AI, I've noticed that people have started using it as a therapy substitute.
Really?
Yes, so you will kind of go, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, and then you just kind of keep feeding in, how you're feeling,
Holy moly.
and people are asking, right, well, what do you think I should be doing, and how should I be thinking about these things, and it will just come
Mhm.
back with stuff. Yeah, it's
That's some scary shit.
it's
Okay.
stuff's going on out there, but stuff's going on
Stuff's
of an
going
AI
on.
nature, which is kind of both exciting and scary.
But it's soon newscasters. All your news, there'd be like news people,
Yeah,
whether it's, you won't need them
yeah,
anymore. Just put the script in and translate
yeah,
it and
yeah. All
yeah.
right. Well, let's crack on. So I've asked
Alrighty.
AI this quiz. We've got 5 questions. I
Mm.
don't have a pen or papers, so you'll
I've got one.
oh,
I'll just
cheers.
pass you over.
If you can keep score, that would be great. Thank you. If you can keep
okay.
score, that would be cool. So I asked it to come up with a quiz about anything. I said random, just pick one, and it says, "All right, I'm gonna say it in a London accent. All right, let's go with a subject everyone can relate to: snacks.
Cool blimey, son.
Here's a
Cool
fun
blimey,
quiz
son. How's
about
your father?
everyone's favourite little indulgence. It's called the Snack
Lovely
Attack
jubbly.
quiz. Apparently, yeah. So
Snack
here we go.
Attack.
Eyes down for a full house.
All right.
What's the number one rule about sharing snacks? Is it A, only share if it's the healthy stuff? B, take only one bite, and by one bite we mean the whole snack? Or C, guard your snacks like a dragon with a hoard of treasure? So what do you think, Paul? What's the number one rule about sharing snacks? Only share if it's healthy.
Right. I think it's only share when it's healthy. The first one.
Take.
I guess did they know is it ADHD themed or not?
I didn't.
No, ADHD.
But it might know.
Okay.
Because I asked it. Because I ask it ADHD
Okay.
stuff every now and again.
Okay.
All right. So you think it's A?
Yes.
I'm going to
A.
go. Number one rule about sharing your snacks. Oh, only take one bite. I'm going to go B. I'm going to say take only one bite. I guess it's kind of healthier because you're not eating the whole thing. All right, and let's see what the answer is. And the answer is number one. They had it. So this is ChatGPT setting the questions and the answers. So this is all completely unsubstantiated. But it says question one. It's C. Guard your snacks like a dragon with a hoard of
Both
treasure.
wrong.
Everyone knows snacks are valuable, it says. So
Okay. So we both
we
got,
both got all right,
Sound.
question number 2. What snack is scientifically proven to disappear during what snack is scientifically proven to disappear the fastest at any gathering? Is it A, the mysteriously addictive chips and dip? B, the veggie tray that nobody actually touches?
Right.
Or C, anything marked leftovers in the office fridge? So what snacks are scientifically proven to disappear the
It's got to be
fastest? The
A,
mysteriously
surely.
addictive chips and dip. I'm gonna go C. Anything marked leftovers in the office fridge, only because if there's if there's any free food in the office, it's like, run, don't walk.
It's snack attack.
Teleport if you
Right.
if you can. And the correct answer is A, the mysteriously addictive chips and dips.
Oh,
They're always the first to go. So that was you, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you're
Yes,
one
yes.
up. All right, there we go. It's like Eddie barking. Like, go on, you can. He's like, go on, you can go out anyway. Anyway, question 3. Which of these best describes the experience of trying to open a bag of chips quietly? Is it A, a stealth mission that requires ninja-like skill? Is it B, like triggering an alarm at a bank vault? Or C, totally easy, nobody even notices the crinkle? Well, that seems weird.
Depends where you are, though, isn't it? If we're always talking about noise pollution, or at least I am. Like if you're in a cinema and someone's like, "Oh, someone's gone to the pick and mix," or anything other than popcorn, and it's just like they're all the way through a film. I'm thinking C.
It's totally easy. Nobody even notices the crinkle.
Except me.
Except you. I'm gonna say B, like triggering an alarm at a bank vault. So let's see. Question number 3. They have it as B, like triggering an alarm at a bank vault. Totally. So trying to open crisps quietly is like trying to sneak into Fort Knox. There we go. We are equal.
We're level. Wow. The tension. Martin.
You can cut it with a brick. Question 4. Which snack is best for binge watching a show at midnight? Is it A, popcorn, because it's crunchy and lasts forever? B, ice cream, for when you want a sweet treat and brain freeze? Or C, mystery snacks found at the back of the pantry that expired last year? So which would be the best?
Okay. Right. So I get really bad brain freeze, like really bad.
I get it very rarely.
Really bad.
Because I don't think that,
especially if it's like the granito, like granite, the slush puppy kind of things. Oh, chronic brain freeze.
I think that just. I think that just proves that you have a brain, whereas I don't have.
That's right.
I very rarely get brain freeze, which makes me feel like maybe there's nothing upstairs. You know what I mean? All right.
Deficient comes to mind. Word comes to mind. But ice cream, though, that's sugary. So that's going to keep you awake. There's a hell of a lot of sugar in ice cream, and at midnight, it's not a good idea. Is it?
So you've got.
I'm thinking
mystery
C.
snacks found at the back of the pantry. I'm going to go popcorn because it seems like the classic. Question 4. Answer is
But with popcorn, you get those little bits
Yeah,
that get
I
into your
know.
teeth.
yeah, keeps your tongue entertained. You know, why
Yeah.
should your eyes have all the fun and your ears when your tongue's like, look,
Right.
I want to be part of this
I do love
evening.
popcorn.
Anyway, so
Are you salty or sweet,
and
Martin?
salty, both. So if I had a choice, I would basically get 50% sweet, 50% salty, mix them up.
No.
Job's a good one.
Wow. Okay.
Yes,
Mix them
absolutely.
up, really.
Come on.
Random.
Come on.
Oh, come on. No.
Yeah.
Just a freak.
I will own it. So
Okay.
the answer, according to ChatGPT, is popcorn because it's crunchy and lasts forever, perfect for endless munching.
Okay.
So I'm one ahead. So I know. So
Nudging
this is
ahead.
the last question. So basically, Mr. Paolo Thompsioni,
I need to win this.
you need to win to level up. Okay, what's the ultimate snack combo? Is it A? Oh, see, here we go. Sweet and salty. Think chocolate-covered pretzels, or indeed salty and sweet popcorn mixed together. B, whatever you
Okay.
find while wandering aimlessly through the kitchen. Or C, the all-in-one mix every snack you have in a single bowl and hope for the best. Almost like a pick and mix, I guess. You just put your hand.
Yeah. I'll go for C.
You see, I am going that has to be the ultimate snack. So I'm also going C.
Yeah.
I'm also yeah.
Are you? That's naughty. That's naughty. Can I say that? Is that way you can't lose?
No, because if the answer is A or B, then
Right.
I win anyway. You know what? I will make this fair, and I will go with A. All right. So sweet and salty, right? Here we go. All right. So question 5.
Right.
What is it? It revives as sweet and salty. Think yes, the best of both worlds. Yes, look, I'm just going to hold it up to the camera. Look, there it is. There, sweet and salty. Yes, the answer. There we go.
Okay. 3-1. Wow, troused is the word that comes to mind.
Good.
Troused.
Good about that. All right. Well, let's jump. That was fun. How did you do? Get in the comments. Let us know if you beat us, or if you were indeed a dismal failure.
Snacks. We've talked a lot about snacks. There's on TikTok as well recently. There's a lot of comments about snacks.
Yeah.
Obsessions.
If you've got any thoughts on AI, because I do feel like that there is an episode that will be coming up at some point, which will be, can AI help you with ADHD? So if you've got any thoughts on that, jump in the comments. All right, let's sing it, baby. Let's jump back into the cab, and we'll go to the post officio. I think that's right. The post officio. You just have to add io onto anything to make it Italian.
Yeah. Ufficio postale. Ufficio postale.
All right, let's jump in.
There we go.
All right. Cool bananas. I'm going to go to some mentions, comments. What do we have? Do we have any posts? So basically, we should say, or you should say,
we should say your feedback is really, 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 really important, and we read all your comments. We might read out one of yours on a future podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that we've had a bunch of stuff on. I will just read this this one out from Alexandra, who I know that she was struggling to find a place to rent, right? And I think it was the episode that was about shame spirals. And I believe we started talking off on the podcast. And I was just trying to think what we started talking about. But I think it was something to do with landlords and how the Pope was your
yes. We talked about because I had the local priest came round to bless the house, and I was worried he was coming round for the rent or to increase the rent.
To increase the rent, right? So she said, I said, let's go listen to the guys so my head clears from the stress of finding a place to rent, and you start with that. Crying, laughing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, moving house.
Finding a place to live.
Yeah. That's always a pain, isn't it? Because you never know what the landlord is going to be like or the neighbours.
All right.
You never know. It's a lottery.
So following on from this, don't forget we have the AI version of our 20 more weird things about ADHDville podcast that will follow straight on after this. But in the meantime, it just leaves it to me to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most magnificent, and feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you wish to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, then sally forth to the YouTubies and the TikTokies. And you can also pick up a quill and email us at adhdville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
I beseech you, fellow ADHDers, know thyself. So do the hounds, come hither and get the flesh.
Whoa! I hit the wrong button. It's all chaos. There we go. All right, we're out.
All right, so get ready, because we're about to do a deep dive into something a little different today.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about snack habits.
Snack habits?
I know it might sound a little random, but just stick with me here, because you actually inspired this whole thing, with your comment about battling those late-night snack attacks. And it all ties in perfectly to some pretty wild AI stuff that's been going on. So we're going to be talking about this British podcast called ADHDville.
Yeah.
And it's hosted by these two longtime friends, Martin and Paul.
Okay.
Who just happened to discover they both have ADHD later in life.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's fascinating how those diagnoses can come at any age.
Totally. And get this, one of them, Paul, is celebrating his 1-year ADHD anniversary. Mm-hmm. So they decided to do this hilarious park bench quiz all about snacks. And hold on to your hat here, because the quiz was written by ChatGPT.
Oh, wow. So this is really interesting because we get to see how AI interprets something as uniquely human as our love of snacks.
It's like a showdown between human quirks and artificial intelligence. So our mission today is we're going to unpack this podcast, and we're going to see what universal truths it reveals about snacking. And maybe we'll even learn a thing or two about how AI is creeping into everyday life.
I'm intrigued already.
So picture this. You have Martin and Paul in their virtual town hall mayor's office, and they're about to head out for this park bench quiz adventure. But first, classic ADHD tangent alert. They spot a squirrel outside, and they launch into this whole debate about what kind of squirrel it is. Is it black, gray, red, maybe even a skunk with a white stripe? It's pure comedic gold.
For those unfamiliar with ADHD, these tangents are a really common trait. It's like your brain takes these unexpected detours, but they're never boring.
Right. Like you start with the squirrel and end up questioning the existence of skunks. But eventually they wrangle their brains, and they head out to the park. They call for their car, grab coffees along the way.
Can I guess? Did Martin go for a pumpkin spice latte?
You know it. Oat milk, of course. Basic but delicious. And this actually sparks another tangent about food preferences, specifically cinnamon and mustard.
Oh.
Martin only likes cinnamon and cinnamon rolls. And Paul has this whole thing about mustard. Like, it's okay as a glaze, but not a dollop? I mean, who knew condiments could be so controversial?
Well, it's those little quirks, those seemingly insignificant preferences that make us human.
So true. And it turns out AI has some quirks of its own, especially when it comes to snacks. As they're driving, Martin casually drops the bomb that he had ChatGPT write the quiz. And even he doesn't know the answers.
Oh, wow. So they're both going in blind, competing against the AI as much as each other.
Exactly. And to make things even weirder, Martin mentions he was experimenting with an AI-generated podcast. He fed a previous episode script into this text-to-speech program, and he promised to play it at the end of their episode. Yeah. I'm dying to hear how that turned out.
Yeah, the pace of AI development is pretty astonishing. I mean, people are using AI for therapy now. It really makes you wonder where this technology is headed.
I know, right? It's both exciting and a little unnerving. But for now, let's focus on this snack showdown. Martin, in his best London accent, introduces the Snack Attack quiz. And the first question is a doozy. What's the number one rule about sharing snacks? The options are: only share if it's the healthy stuff. Take only one bite, and by one bite, we mean the whole snack. Or guard your snacks like a dragon with a hoard of treasure. I mean, come on, who hasn't felt that dragon instinct?
The struggle is real.
Paul, ever the optimist, goes for the healthy option, thinking maybe the AI is promoting good habits. Martin, being a little bit more realistic, or maybe just hungry, chooses the one giant bite strategy. But the AI, well, it sides with the dragon. Apparently, everyone knows snacks are valuable.
Can't argue with that logic.
All right, so round one goes to the AI. On to question 2. What snack is scientifically proven to disappear the fastest at any gathering? We've got the mysteriously addictive chips and dip, the veggie tray that nobody actually touches, or anything marked leftovers in the office fridge. Paul jumps on the chips and dip bandwagon, while Martin, always looking for a freebie, goes to the office leftovers. But I think we all know the real winner here.
Chips and dip are a universal weakness.
And the AI agrees. It declares them always the first to go. So Paul is on the board. Question 3 is where things get really relatable, even for those of us without ADHD. It asks, which of these best describes the experience of trying to open a bag of chips quietly? The options are a stealth mission that requires ninja-like skill, like triggering an alarm at a bank vault.
Sure.
Or totally easy, nobody even notices the crinkle. Come on, we've all been there, right? That awkward struggle in a silent movie theater.
It's a true test of character.
Paul surprisingly claims it's totally easy. But then he launches into this whole tangent about noisy moviegoers munching on candy instead of popcorn. Martin, on the other hand, knows the struggle is real. He goes with option B, triggering an alarm at a bank vault. And the AI, it sides with the bank vault analogy. It confirms that trying to open a bag of crisps, that's British for chips, quietly, is like trying to sneak into Fort Knox. We've got a tie game.
Ooh, the tension is building.
2 questions left and it's anyone's game. Question 4. Which snack is best for binge watching a show at midnight? The AI offers popcorn because it's crunchy and lasts forever, ice cream for when you want a sweet treat and a brain freeze, or mystery snacks found at the back of the pantry that expired last year. Who hasn't been there, right?
We've all had those late night pantry adventures.
Paul is immediately turned off by the ice cream option because he gets really bad brain freeze, which of course leads to a tangent about whether having a brain freeze is actually a sign of having a brain. Don't even ask.
I love how their minds...
Eventually, Paul settles on option C, the mystery snacks, because he figures the sugar will keep him awake. Martin, ever the traditionalist, sticks with popcorn. And guess what? The AI sides with Martin. Popcorn is the official midnight snack champion. Okay, final question. This is the tiebreaker, so I'll come down to this. What's the ultimate snack combo? The options are sweet and salty, whatever you find while wandering aimlessly through the kitchen, or the all-in-one mix, every snack you have in a single bowl, and hope for the best.
I'm sensing a pattern here. The AI seems to have a preference for the classics.
You're telling me. Paul immediately jumps on the everything in one bowl option, and Martin initially agrees, because come on, who doesn't love a good snack free-for-all? But then, in a truly noble act of sportsmanship, he switches to sweet and salty, just to make it fair. And guess what? The AI agrees. Sweet and salty wins. Martin takes the crown.
It seems the AI, despite its vast knowledge, still appreciates the simple pleasures.
Right. It's almost comforting. Like, even in this crazy world of AI and algorithms, some things just never go out of style.
It makes you wonder if AI, as it evolves, will start to develop its own unique preferences, or if it will always be tethered to human trends.
That's a deep thought. And speaking of deep thoughts, Martin and Paul aren't done yet. They wrap up their quiz and they dive into the listener feedback section. And that's where things get really interesting.
So they finished their AI-powered snack quiz, and now it's on to listener feedback. It's always fascinating to hear how people connect with these seemingly simple topics, like snacks, you know.
Yeah.
You mentioned you've been feeling a bit snack obsessed lately.
It's true. I have. And it turns out I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Martin and Pyle mentioned noticing a lot of snack-related comments on their TikToks, especially from their ADHD audience. It's like snacks are a whole different ballgame when you're wired a little differently.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. You know, for folks with ADHD, things like heightened cravings or difficulty regulating food intake can be part of the experience. It's definitely something worth exploring further.
Absolutely. But for now, let's focus on this one listener comment that really caught my attention. Martin reads it aloud. It's from a listener named Alexandra, who's been having a rough time trying to find a place to rent.
Oof, yeah. Apartment hunting can be a nightmare.
Tell me about it. Alexandra actually wrote in saying she started listening to the podcast to clear her head from the stress of it all. She stumbled upon an earlier episode about shame spirals. You know, that feeling of overwhelm and inadequacy, that can really hit hard, especially with ADHD. And it totally resonated with her.
It's amazing how a podcast can provide that sense of connection and validation, especially when you're struggling with something like a shame spiral.
It's like having virtual friends who get it. Anyway, Alexandra mentioned that Martin and Paul started talking about landlords and how the Pope was, wait, what? Apparently there was this whole bit about the Pope being a landlord.
Oh, I remember this. This was classic ADHD tangent magic. Paul was talking about how his priest came to bless his house, and it just spiraled into this hilarious worry that the priest was actually there to collect rent. Because, you know, the Pope is the head of the Catholic Church, and the Vatican owns tons of property.
Only these guys could connect the Pope to landlords, to shame spirals, to snacks. It's like their brains are wired for these unexpected leaps of logic.
But even with the humor, it highlights a serious point. Finding an apartment can be incredibly stressful. And as Alexandra's comment shows, it can trigger a lot of negative emotions, especially for those with ADHD.
Totally. Which brings up a question that's been swirling around in my head. Could AI actually help with this?
You're connecting this back to our earlier discussion about AI therapy, right?
Exactly. If AI can provide supporting guidance in other areas of life, why not apartment hunting? Imagine an AI that could analyze rental listings, match you with places based on your needs and your budget, maybe even negotiate with landlords on your behalf.
Yeah, it could potentially take a lot of the stress and overwhelm out of the process, which could be huge for someone prone to shame spirals.
Right. It's mind-blowing to think about how AI could solve real-world problems like that. But before we get too carried away with our AI fantasies, Martin throws us another curveball. Remember how he mentioned creating that AI-generated version of a previous episode?
Oh yeah, with the text-to-speech program? I'm dying to hear this.
Me too. It's like a glimpse into the future of podcasting. Are the robots coming for our jobs?
Yeah.
Only one way to find out. Martin cues up the AI episode, and we're about to enter a whole new dimension of weird. All right, so here comes the AI episode. Get ready. It's about to get weird.
I'm prepared for anything.
Okay, hit it.
Whoa.
Okay, first impression. The voices are eerily realistic. It's like they cloned Martin and Paul, but something's off.
It's the delivery, isn't it? The pacing is too perfect, almost robotic, and there's none of those natural pauses or little stumbles that happen in a real conversation.
Exactly. And remember, all of those hilarious tangents, those are gone. It's just straight information delivered in this flat monotone. It's informative, sure, but it's definitely missing that spark.
It's like the AI is trying to be human, but it's missing that essential ingredient that makes a podcast truly engaging, you know, the human connection.
And remember how Paul went on that rant about brain freezes? Well, the AI tries to recreate it, but it's just not funny.
It's like watching a robot try to tell a joke. It understands the structure, but it just doesn't get the nuances of timing or delivery.
Yeah, okay, let's keep listening. I'm curious to see if it gets any better. It's getting weirder, right? Like the AI is getting better at mimicking their voices and inflections, but it's still missing that soul. Yeah, it's like a really good impersonation, but you know, it's not the real deal.
It's almost unsettling, isn't it? Like looking in a distorted mirror, it really makes you think about the nature of authenticity and how we connect with other humans.
Right, and what happens when AI gets so good at mimicking us that we can't even tell the difference anymore is that the future of podcasting, I have so many questions.
It's definitely a conversation worth having, but for now, I think we've heard enough.
Agreed. Let's shut it down. Well, that was an experience.
It was certainly thought-provoking.
So are the robots coming for podcasting jobs based on what we just heard?
Yeah.
I'd say not yet. The AI did a decent job, but it's just not the same. It's missing that genuine human connection, the humor, the shared experience.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that AI can be a powerful tool, but it can't replace the unique qualities that make us human. Our creativity, our empathy, our ability to connect on a deeper level.
Well said. Okay, so what does this all mean? We started with your snack obsession, went on a wild ride with Martin and Paul's ADHD-fueled podcast, and ended up pondering the future of AI and its impact on everything from therapy to apartment hunting to podcasting.
It's amazing how seemingly unrelated things can be so interconnected, isn't it?
Totally. And that's what the deep dive is all about, exploring those connections, uncovering hidden insights, and leaving you with more questions than answers.
Because ultimately, the best learning happens when we start asking questions and challenging our own assumptions.
Absolutely. So we'd love to hear your thoughts. Has this deep dive changed your perspective on AI? Have you ever used AI in an unexpected way? Jump into the comments and let's keep the conversation going.
And as always, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Until next time, stay curious.